ConcreteGeniusMedia.com. It's your boy, Sauce McKenzie. Follow me on all socials at Concrete Genius Pod. Follow me on Twitter at Sauce McKenzie, SAUCE_McKenzie. Follow me on TikTok at Concrete Genius Pod. Follow me on IG. But I digress, man. You know, I get a little wound up, man. These evening pods kind of get me hyped up. How y'all doing? It's Wednesday. Brace yourself. Cheerio. First and foremost, some kids have been breaking in cars in the suburbs. Kids been breaking in cars in Indianapolis for a long time. But it's gotten recently bad the past few years. But it's hitting the suburbs. The other night, some kids broke in some cars in Fishers, Indiana, which, if people don't know, it's one of the affluent suburbs surrounding Indianapolis. Some kids broke in a car, and the Indianapolis police partnered with the FBI and caught the kids. I think they're trying to say the kids are responsible for over 200 break-ins. That's a lot of car break-ins. I don't believe it's that many, but whatever, you shouldn't be breaking in cars. True enough. But here's my point, right? With the climate of America today, the last thing you need to be doing is not paying attention to your kids. It is about to get serious when it comes to policing minority youth. Please remember you heard it here first. The FBI is partnering with local law enforcement agencies, and they are going after black kids that commit crimes. Now, where do I stand on this? Of course, black kids shouldn't be committing crime. And sometimes kids need to go to jail to understand how serious this thing may get. But now we got federal law enforcement involved. So it is very pertinent, black people, to get a grip on your child, right? I don't care what you think a priority is in your life. If you raising a black child between the ages of 8 to 12, 12 to 14, and you feel like your child's going in the wrong direction, it is pertinent that you find some help for your child, because these prison beds have to be filled. This is big money, right? And it is a scenario in the United States where a lot of things are happening. If you watch the news, you keep on the news, a lot of things are happening. It's a lot of conflict between the left and the right. And that's involving a lot of conflict that don't involve minorities. And if you have a pulse on what's going on in America, whenever a deflection happens or something happens and nobody has nobody to blame, go-to words are per capita, blacks are committing all the crimes, we need to stop black violence. That's a safety blanket for a lot of people in the United States. And what can you do about it, right? I don't want to hear about what's been done to us, all the tragic things that's been done to us. We all know this, the red line and the miseducation system, the prison pipeline, the drug sentencing laws has been done by Democrats and Republicans. But I'm talking right here, right now. You better get a hold of your child, because what happens if they approve this law, this joint merger, and you know laws get approved just like that now, where they start trying black juveniles for small crimes, but crimes that cause people conveniences. See, what happens when you steal from poor people or black people that come in poor areas, or even white people that come in poor areas, it gets reported and it gets frustrated about, but it gets isolated. Because the average white person can say, you shouldn't have been there. The average rich person. And I don't want to make it always a black and white issue, even though arresting you is a black and white issue, but it's also a social economic issue. People who pay $3,000, $4,000, $500,000 for their home, and you start breaking in 20, 30 cars, they're going to get the right people to get something done about it. If you live in a low-income apartment and your cars is getting broken in, they may put somebody out there, but you're going to have to call to the police, the mayor, the chief of police. You're going to have to do a lot of things when you poor to get crime prevented in your area, because they feel like you shouldn't be living there. But when you start messing with Fishers and Carmel and Greenwood, these are all suburbs around Indianapolis for my people who don't live here. If you start messing with these small towns, these people are going to call the right people and get the right reinforcements. And now they've combined with the Southern District of Indiana, which is the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Why is that important? Because if they create a law, something similar to mayhem or mischief, or you breaking in a lot of cars, or you get caught with a switch, or your son gets caught with a gun, a firearm, a certain type of firearm, automatic weapon, and they charge him with a federal crime, your child will be somewhere in the middle of Colorado at pretrial around a bunch of grown men. And I'm sure you don't want that for your child, right? So, Black people, it is very important that you get serious about your business, about your savings, about your money, about your behavior, about your child. This is not the child to keep, this is not the time in period of in America to allow your child to have unrestricted weekends, to give your child space, to give your child growth, to not bother your child wig out. How you think he gonna wig out when he get caught with that felony and they send his ass to Colorado on a Fed charge as a 15-year-old? I'm telling you something that's gonna help you, right? So either you can be helped or you can just refuse my help and ignore me. But I'm telling you, Black people, it is a state of emergency when it comes to protecting our own. You better find a way to let go of the violence, let go of the ignorance, let go of the stupidity, let go of the animosity, let go of the jealousy, let go of the petty crimes, let go of not being nice to each other. Because while all that's going on between adults who can't control their emotions, guess who's seeing it? The kids. Guess who's been poisoned by the TV? The kids. Guess who want quick money because of the internet? The kids. And these kids are going to start getting locked up at a disproportionate rate. I'm just being honest with you. If you want to know why, it's because it's too many white kids getting locked up for major violence. And the media in America is not going to never let the majority be the face of violence. Not with us shooting each other. You see what I'm saying? We can't say from our position, what about, or they shooting up schools, or they doing this, because that only works when you carrying yourself in a way that's not putting yourself at risk. And I'm warning you again, they gotta fill up these prison beds. So get a grip on your child.